Watch to the end. In this video, you will hear 3 stories. The last one will shock you.
Do you think you know everything about your dog's hobbies and morals? You are definitely not following at least one of these 10 points. Look to the end. These points are based on real research and have shocked millions of people. They will change your ideas about the attitude towards dogs. The last point will shock you. Never forget these 10 dog hobbies. The shocking truth about what your pup really loves. Dogs aren't just pets, they're complex, emotional beings with hobbies as varied as ours. Recent studies reveal that dogs engage in activities not just for survival, but for pure enjoyment, mental stimulation, and even emotional fulfillment. 1. Extreme window watching, the canine soap opera. Surprising fact, a 2023 study from the University of Veterinary Medicine, Vienna, found that 72% of dogs spend at least an hour a day staring out windows, tracking squirrels, birds, and passers-by. Why it matters. Dogs experience a dopamine rush when observing movement, similar to humans binge-watching television. Expert insight. Window watching isn't just boredom, it's entertainment. Some dogs even develop favorite shows, like the mailman's daily appearance. Dr. Emily Blackwell, canine behaviorist. 2. Professional sock thievery, the great laundry heist. Shocking news. A survey by Petside Journal found that 1 in 3 dogs steal socks, underwear, or shoes not to chew, but to hoard like treasure. Why it matters. Dogs with sock collections show higher problem-solving skills. University of Budapest, 2024. Funny twist. Some dogs trade stolen socks for treats. Proof they understand bartering. 3. Competitive digging, the underground architects. Recent discovery. Researchers at UC Davis found that certain breeds, like dachshunds and terriers, dig not just for prey but for fun. Some even create elaborate tunnel systems. Why it matters. Digging releases endorphins, reducing anxiety. Warning. A dog in Germany dug a 6-foot-deep bunker, so supervise outdoor excavations. 4. Tail-chasing Olympics, the spiral of madness. Surprising study. A 2024 Journal of Canine Neuroscience report revealed that 15% of tail chasers do it purely for fun, not due to anxiety. Why it matters. Dogs with high energy levels use it as a self-invented game. Expert warning. If it becomes obsessive, it could signal neurological issues, but most are just goofy athletes. Dr. Karen Becker, DVM. 5. Professional blanket burrowing, the canine burrito. Science says small breeds, like Chihuahuas and Shih Tzus, burrow to recreate the warmth of a den, but recent findings show some just love the coziness. Why it matters. Dogs who burrow have lower stress levels. Cornell University, 2023. Pro tip. Give your dog a snuggle sack. It's like a weighted blanket for pups. 6. Advanced staring, the hypnotic gaze. Shocking research. A study in animal cognition found that dogs intentionally make eye contact to manipulate humans, and it works 47% faster than barking. Why it matters. Dogs use puppy eyes to trigger oxytocin release in humans. University of Portsmouth, 2022. Expert quote. They've evolved to weaponize cuteness. Dr. Clive Wynne, canine psychologist. 7. Professional sniffari tours, the scent detectives. Breaking news. Dogs have up to 300 million scent receptors versus humans 6 million, making sniffing walks their version of reading a novel. Why it matters. A 30-minute sniffari reduces anxiety more than a walk without sniffing. University of Pennsylvania, 2024. Pro tip. Let your dog lead the walk, it's mentally enriching. 8. Extreme napping, the art of the siesta. Fun fact. Dogs sleep 12 to 14 hours a day, but research shows they dream just like humans often about their owners. MIT, 2023. Why it matters. Lazy dogs are happier dogs. Rest is crucial for emotional processing. Warning. If your dog twitches while sleeping, they're likely chasing dream squirrels. 9. Water obsession, the splashaholics. Surprising study. Not all labs love water, but breeds like Newfoundlands have webbed paws and a biological urge to swim. Why it matters. Swimming reduces joint pain in older dogs. Shocking case. A golden retriever in Australia surfed waves daily, proving some dogs are true athletes. 10. Stealing your seat. The throne usurper. Science explains, when your dog steals your spot, it's not just about warmth, it's a dominance and comfort behavior. Journal of Veterinary Behavior, 2024. Why it matters. Dogs who steal seats feel more secure in their social rank. Funny fix. Put a heated bed nearby, they'll switch. Now you will hear the shocking story of a man who ignored these tips. The Ballad of Bruno, a dog betrayed by love. Chapter 1. The Golden Beginning. Bruno bounded into Jake's life like a ray of sunshine made flesh. A plump, wriggling Labrador puppy with paws too big for his body and a tongue that seemed to have its own agenda. From the moment Jake held that squirming bundle of joy against his college sweatshirt, which Bruno immediately christened with puppy drool, he knew he'd found his soulmate in canine form. Those first months were magic. Jake, a freelance graphic designer working from home, had all the time in the world for Bruno's antics. They established rituals, morning sniffari expeditions, where Bruno would lead Jake on meandering walks, his nose writing novels in the language of fire hydrants and fallen leaves. Sock heist championships, Jake would pretend not to notice as Bruno stole laundry, theatrically chasing him while Bruno pranced with his prize. Window television time. Jake positioned Bruno's bed perfectly to watch the neighborhood squirrel drama unfold. But like all perfect things, this harmony couldn't last. Chapter 2. The Poisonous Advice. Enter Derek, Jake's oldest friend from college. Where Jake was all soft edges and open smiles, Derek was angles and sarcasm. And Derek hated dogs. Man, you're turning into one of those pathetic dog dads. Derek sneered during a visit, watching Jake play tug-of-war with Bruno. You know dogs are just animals, right? Feed them, walk them, done. All this extra crap is why you're still single. Jake laughed it off at first. But when Derek kept needling him, you let him on the couch? Disgusting. Why do you waste money on puzzle toys? Throw him a stick. The comments started to stick. Then came Emily. Beautiful, kind Emily with her rescue cat Mochi. Their first fight happened when Bruno, excited by a new person, wagged his tail too close to Mochi's sacred space. It all began on a drizzly Tuesday afternoon at Paws and Perk, the quirkiest coffee shop in town, half cafe, half animal rescue fundraiser hub. The place always smelled like espresso and dog treats, with adoptable kittens napping in baskets by the register. Jake was there with Bruno, who just celebrated his first birthday. The lab was in peak form, gleefully stealing napkins from tables and helping by carrying Jake's loyalty card in his slobbery jaws. Enter Emily. She'd come for the advertised kitten latte art day, clutching Mochi, her battle-scarred one-eared rescue cat, in a designer pet carrier. Mochi, unimpressed by canine exuberance, let out a hiss that could curdle milk when Bruno trotted over to investigate. First words. "Control your horse," Emily snapped, jerking Mochi's carrier away as Bruno's tail wagged like a helicopter rotor. Jake, ever the peacemaker, scooped up Bruno and flashed an apologetic grin. Sorry, he thinks he's a lapdog. Also, that's a really cool cat. Emily softened slightly. She's a war veteran, adopted from a shelter after some kids, well, she doesn't do dogs. The meet-cute disaster. Just then, Bruno sneezed directly onto Mochi's carrier. The cat responded by projectile urinating through the mesh. Silence. Then, against all odds, Emily laughed. A real, snort-filled laugh. Okay, that's the most dramatic reaction she's ever had. Congrats. Jake, seizing the moment. Can I buy you a sorry my dog terrified your cat latte? The unexpected bond. Over oat milk cappuccinos, they discovered. Emily was a trauma surgeon who'd adopted Mochi after a euthanasia list plea went viral. Jake designed logos for animal rescues pro bono. Emily later confessed she'd planned to hate Jake that day. But then I saw how you wiped Bruno's paws before he got in your car. Nobody fake. Nice as that. As time passed, Emily began to hate Bruno more and more. "Jake, he's too much," Emily whispered that night. "What if he hurts Mochi?" "Maybe. Tone down the energy a little." And so, piece by piece, Bruno's world shrank. Chapter 3. The Death of Joy. One hobby at a time. 1. No more sniffaries. Derek's advice. 30 minutes max. No letting him stop every 2 feet. Consequence? Bruno's nose, meant to decipher the world, became useless. He started compulsively sniffing the same patch of carpet for hours. 2. Sock games equals bad dog. Emily's request. It's unsanitary with Mochi around. Consequence. Bruno began stealing and eating socks, requiring 2 emergency vet visits. 3. The covered window. Derek's logic. You're reinforcing his barking at squirrels. Consequence. Bruno developed a nervous habit of pacing the exact path where his bed used to be. 4. No more digging pit. Emily's concern. What if Mochi falls in? Consequence. Bruno's claws grew overgrown from lack of natural wear, making walking painful. 5. Tail chasing shamed. Derek's mockery. Look at your derpy mutt. Embarrassing. Consequence. Bruno would start to spin, then abruptly stop, looking ashamed. The worst was the couch ban. The final night Bruno tried to jump up. Jake snapped, down, with such venom that Bruno never tried again. He'd just press his face against Jake's knee and whimper, confused why touch had become forbidden. Chapter 4. The Ghost Dog. Within 6 months, Bruno was unrecognizable. The dog who once raced through sprinklers now slunk through the house like a shadow. His brilliant, "I found a stick," prance reduced to a stiff walk. The vet found nothing physically wrong, just a note in his file. Severe apathy. Possible canine depression. Then came the night Jake woke to whimpering. Bruno was frantically licking his own paw, raw and bleeding. The emergency vet was gentle but firm. "This is psychogenic dermatitis. He's literally making himself sick from stress. Dogs need purpose, Jake. They need to be dogs." Jake finally saw the truth. He'd let Bruno's light be extinguished. Chapter 5. The Revelation. The breakup with Emily was ugly. "You're choosing the dog!" she screamed. What Jake couldn't explain was that he wasn't choosing Bruno over her. He was choosing himself, the person Bruno had always believed him to be. Derek's betrayal cut deeper. Going through old texts, Jake found a thread to Emily. "Keep pushing about the cat. That mutt's days are numbered." Chapter 6. The Long Road Back. Rehabilitation wasn't easy. Bruno flinched at offered toys, as if expecting punishment. It took weeks before he'd tentatively take a sock again, watching Jake's face for anger. But slowly, the spark returned. The first time Bruno splashed in his new kiddie pool, soaking Jake completely. His tail wagged so hard, his whole body wriggled. When Jake pretended not to see him steal a pillow, Bruno's playful growls filled the house with music. And when Jake finally whispered, "Up here, buddy," patting the couch, Bruno hesitated, then launched himself into Jake's arms, licking away his tears. Epilogue. The 10th hobby. On Bruno's adoption anniversary, Jake added a 10th hobby to their list. 10. Second chances. Because love isn't about never failing. It's about seeing the damage and choosing to rebuild. As Bruno snores beside him, on the couch, always on the couch now, Jake keeps Derek's last text unread. "You've gone full crazy dog person." He smiles, hits delete, and throws Bruno's favorite slobbery tennis ball one more time. Final thought. Dogs are more like us than we think. These hobbies prove dogs don't just exist, they live with passion, curiosity, and even humor. Understanding their interests leads to happier, healthier pets. So next time your dog stares at squirrels or burrows into blankets, remember they're not just killing time, they're living their best life. Dogs are more than just pets, they're family. But as much as we love them, many of us unknowingly make mistakes that can harm their health and well-being. Based on shocking research and real-life cases, here are 10 critical things to avoid when interacting with your dog. By steering clear of these pitfalls, you can ensure your furry friend lives a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life. 1. Inappropriate training methods. The danger of outdated techniques. What to avoid. Using punishment-based training methods like shock collars, physical corrections, or yelling. Why it's harmful. Research from the Journal of Veterinary Behavior shows that aversive training methods can lead to long-term psychological damage, including anxiety, fear, and aggression. A 2020 study found that dogs trained with punishment were 15% more likely to exhibit aggressive behaviors compared to those trained with positive reinforcement. What to do instead. Use reward-based training methods, such as treats, praise, and clicker training. These methods build trust and strengthen the bond between you and your dog. 2. Improper nutrition. The hidden dangers of human food. What to avoid. Feeding your dog foods like chocolate, grapes, onions, or anything containing xylitol, a common sugar substitute. Why it's harmful. According to the ASPCA, chocolate and xylitol are among the top causes of poisoning in dogs. Grapes and raisins can cause kidney failure, while onions can lead to anemia. A 2019 study found that 20% of dog owners admitted to feeding their pets toxic foods without realizing the risks. What to do instead. Stick to high-quality dog food and consult your vet for dietary recommendations. Avoid table scraps and educate yourself on toxic foods. 3. Ignoring signs of stress. The silent cry for help. What to avoid. Overlooking behaviors like excessive barking, panting, pacing, or destructive chewing. Why it's harmful. A study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science found that chronic stress in dogs can lead to serious health issues, including weakened immunity and gastrointestinal problems. Ignoring these signs can also exacerbate behavioral problems. What to do instead. Learn to recognize stress signals and address the root cause. Provide a safe space for your dog to retreat to, and consider consulting a professional behaviorist if needed. 4. Lack of veterinary care. The cost of neglect. What to avoid. Skipping annual checkups or delaying visits to the vet when something seems wrong. Why it's harmful. The American Veterinary Medical Association, AVMA, reports that 1 in 3 dogs never see a vet after their initial puppy visits. This lack of preventive care can lead to undiagnosed conditions like heart disease, diabetes, or cancer. What to do instead. Schedule regular vet visits and keep up with vaccinations, flea, tick prevention, and dental care. Early detection can save your dog's life. 5. Improper socialization. The loneliness epidemic. What to avoid. Isolating your dog from other animals and people, especially during their critical socialization period, 3 to 14 weeks of age. Why it's harmful. A lack of socialization can lead to fear, aggression, and anxiety. A 2018 study found that poorly socialized dogs were 40% more likely to develop behavioral issues. What to do instead. Expose your dog to a variety of people, animals, and environments in a controlled and positive way. Puppy classes and dog parks can be great options. 6. Overheating or hypothermia. The risks of extreme temperatures. What to avoid. Leaving your dog in a hot car or outside in freezing temperatures without proper shelter. Why it's harmful. Dogs are highly susceptible to temperature extremes. According to the Humane Society, hundreds of dogs die each year from heat stroke after being left in cars. Similarly, hypothermia can set in quickly in cold weather, especially for small or short-haired breeds. What to do instead. Always monitor your dog's exposure to extreme temperatures. Provide plenty of water and shade in the summer, and invest in a warm coat or booties for winter walks. 7. Lack of physical activity. The sedentary lifestyle trap. What to avoid. Keeping your dog cooped up indoors without regular exercise. Why it's harmful. A sedentary lifestyle can lead to obesity, which affects 56% of dogs in the U.S., according to the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention. Obesity increases the risk of diabetes, joint problems, and heart disease. What to do instead. Ensure your dog gets at least 30 minutes to 2 hours of exercise daily, depending on their breed and age. Walks, playtime, and interactive toys can keep them active and engaged. 8. Ignoring breed characteristics. One size doesn't fit all. What to avoid. Treating all dogs the same without considering their breed. Specific needs. Why it's harmful. Breeds like Border Collies and German Shepherds require mental stimulation and physical activity, while brachycephalic breeds, for example, bulldogs, pugs, are prone to respiratory issues and overheating. Ignoring these traits can lead to health and behavioral problems. What to do instead. Research your dog's breed and tailor their care accordingly. Consult your vet for breed-specific advice. 9. Excessive attachment or isolation. The mental health balance. What to avoid. Either smothering your dog with constant attention or leaving them alone for extended periods. Why it's harmful. Excessive attachment can lead to separation anxiety, while isolation can cause depression and destructive behaviors. A 2021 study found that dogs left alone for more than 6 hours a day were 50% more likely to exhibit anxiety-related behaviors. What to do instead. Strike a balance. Provide companionship, but also teach your dog to be comfortable alone. Use puzzle toys or hire a dog walker if you're away for long periods. 10. Using dangerous toys. The hidden hazards. What to avoid. Giving your dog toys that are too small, easily torn apart, or made of toxic materials. Why it's harmful. Cheap or poorly made toys can cause choking, intestinal blockages, or poisoning. A 2017 report by the FDA highlighted cases of dogs suffering from gastrointestinal injuries due to ingesting toy fragments. What to do instead. Choose durable, non-toxic toys that are appropriate for your dog's size and chewing habits. Supervise playtime to ensure safety. Conclusion. A happy, healthy dog starts with you. Caring for a dog is a big responsibility, but it's also one of the most rewarding experiences in life. By avoiding these 10 common mistakes, you can ensure your dog stays healthy, happy, and thriving. Remember, your dog depends on you for their well-being, so make every choice count. Your dog deserves the best. Let's give it to them. The morality of dog treatment. A reflection on responsible ownership. The way we treat our dogs reflects not only our love for them, but also our moral responsibility as their caregivers. Each of the 10 points discussed in the previous article highlights a critical aspect of dog care, and behind each point lies a deeper ethical principle. Let's explore the morality of dog treatment based on these points, emphasizing why responsible ownership is not just a choice, but a moral obligation. 1. Inappropriate training methods. Respect and compassion. Moral principle. Treat your dog with kindness and respect. Why it matters. Using harsh or punitive training methods violates the trust between you and your dog. Dogs are sentient beings capable of feeling fear, pain, and stress. Ethical treatment means choosing methods that build confidence and trust rather than instilling fear. Moral takeaway. Training should be rooted in compassion, not domination. 2. Improper nutrition. The duty of care. Moral principle. Provide for your dog's basic needs. Why it matters. Feeding your dog toxic or inappropriate foods is a failure to meet their most fundamental need: nutrition. As their caregiver, you have a duty to ensure their diet supports their health and longevity. Moral takeaway. Proper nutrition is a non-negotiable aspect of responsible ownership. 3. Ignoring signs of stress, empathy, and awareness. Moral principle. Be attuned to your dog's emotional and physical well-being. Why it matters. Ignoring signs of stress or discomfort is a failure to recognize your dog's needs. Dogs communicate through behavior, and it's our responsibility to interpret and respond to their signals. Moral takeaway. Empathy is key to understanding and addressing your dog's needs. 4. Lack of veterinary care. Commitment to health. Moral principle. Prioritize your dog's health and well-being. Why it matters. Neglecting veterinary care is a breach of the commitment you made when you brought your dog into your life. Regular checkups and preventive care are essential for a long, healthy life. Moral takeaway. Investing in your dog's health is a moral obligation, not an option. 5. Improper socialization. Fostering well-roundedness. Moral principle. Help your dog thrive in the world. Why it matters. Dogs are social animals that need interaction with others to develop into well-adjusted individuals. Denying them this opportunity is a failure to provide for their emotional and psychological needs. Moral takeaway. Socialization is an act of care that enriches your dog's life. 6. Overheating or hypothermia. Protection from harm. Moral principle. Keep your dog safe from harm. Why it matters. Exposing your dog to extreme temperatures is a failure to protect them from preventable suffering. Dogs rely on us to create a safe environment, and neglecting this responsibility is morally indefensible. Moral takeaway. Safety is a cornerstone of ethical dog ownership. 7. Lack of physical activity. Promoting a healthy life. Moral principle. Ensure your dog's physical and mental well-being. Why it matters. A sedentary lifestyle deprives your dog of the exercise they need to stay healthy and happy. Physical activity is not a luxury, it's a necessity for their overall well-being. Moral takeaway. Exercise is an essential part of caring for your dog. 8. Ignoring breed characteristics. Respect for individuality. Moral principle. Acknowledge and respect your dog's unique needs. Why it matters. Every breed has specific traits and requirements. Ignoring these is a failure to recognize your dog's individuality and can lead to unnecessary suffering. Moral takeaway. Tailoring care to your dog's breed is a sign of respect and understanding. 9. Excessive attachment or isolation. Balancing love and independence. Moral principle. Foster a healthy relationship based on balance. Why it matters. Smothering your dog with attention or leaving them alone for long periods can harm their mental health. A balanced approach ensures they feel secure without becoming overly dependent. Moral takeaway. A healthy relationship requires boundaries and balance. 10. Using dangerous toys. Ensuring safety in play. Moral principle. Protect your dog from unnecessary risks. Why it matters. Toys are meant to enrich your dog's life, not endanger it. Providing unsafe toys is a failure to prioritize their safety during playtime. Moral takeaway. Safety should always come first, even in play. Conclusion. The moral imperative of dog ownership. Owning a dog is a privilege that comes with profound moral responsibilities. Each of the 10 points discussed underscores a fundamental principle of ethical treatment, respect, compassion, and a commitment to your dog's well-being. Dogs give us unconditional love, and loyalty it's our duty to reciprocate by providing them with the care and respect they deserve. By adhering to these principles, we not only improve the lives of our dogs, but also set a standard for how all animals should be treated. After all, the way we care for the most vulnerable among us is a reflection of our own humanity.
Do you think you know everything about your cat's hobbies and morals? You are definitely not following at least one of these 10 points. Watch to the end. The last point will shock you. This story is based on real research and has shocked millions of American people. It will change your ideas about how cats are treated. Chapter 1. The Whispering Shadows. Elias Thornbrook had always been a man of routine, precise, calculated, and utterly dismissive of unsolicited advice. His black cat, Nix, was as enigmatic as the moonlit alleys she occasionally prowled. But Elias made his first grave mistake the day he ignored the cardinal rule of cat ownership: never skip annual veterinary checkups. A shocking statistic from the Feline Health Institute haunted the walls of every vet clinic. Over 60% of cats develop hidden kidney disease by age 7, often undetected without blood work. Elias scoffed. Nix seemed fine, her coat glossy, her appetite voracious. Why subject her to the stress of a vet visit? But Nix wasn't fine. One evening, as rain lashed against the windows of Thornbrook's antiquated townhouse, Nix began refusing food, then water. Then she vanished into the labyrinth of his home's hidden passages, walls lined with forgotten books and whispered secrets. Desperate, Elias sought help from his eccentric neighbor, Dr. Leora Vex, a retired veterinarian with a penchant for the supernatural. You ignored the signs. Leora murmured, her fingers tracing the dust on an ancient feline medical tome. Cats are masters of disguise, hiding pain until it's too late. Together, they followed Nix's faint paw prints into the house's shadowed underbelly, where they discovered more than just a sick cat. There were other sick cats next to her, and she came to support them. Moral of the chapter: neglecting routine care under the assumption no symptoms means no problem can blind you to silent dangers both in your pets and in the shadows they might unveil. Chapter 2. The Brush of Deception. As Nix's condition worsened, Elias frantically researched remedies, stumbling upon a pervasive myth. Cats self-groom. Baths are unnecessary. Recent studies from the Journal of Feline Medicine revealed the grim truth. Over 40% of long-haired cats develop severe matting or dermatitis without human intervention, leading to infections or even mobility issues. Elias had never brushed Nix, believing her fastidious tongue was enough. But Nix's fur, now tangled and dull, hid more than neglect. Leora arrived with a silver comb, its teeth engraved with runes. "Grooming isn't just about cleanliness," she said, working through Nix's knots. "It's about connection. And sometimes, revelation." With each stroke, Nix's fur released not just dirt, but whispers, fragments of a language Elias almost recognized. Then, the comb caught on something unnatural, a tiny embedded locket, its surface etched with the "it was Nix's date of birth." Elias gasped, "That's where he was!" Before they could open it, a sharp knock echoed through the house. A stranger stood at the door, a man with mismatched eyes and a smile too wide. "I've been waiting for Nix to call me," he said, his voice like dry leaves. "She's my cat, you see. Or rather, she was." Nix hissed, her back arching, but Elias noticed something terrifying. All the stranger's clothes were made of cat hair. Moral of the chapter: assuming nature will handle everything breeds ignorance. Some knots must be unraveled by hand before they tighten into snares. Chapter 3. The Poisoned Feast. Elias slammed the door shut, but the stranger's laughter seeped through the cracks like smoke. Nix's fur stood on end, her pupils dilated not just from fear, but from something deeper, something wrong. Leora grabbed Elias's arm, her grip iron. "We need to get her out of here, now!" But Nix suddenly convulsed, her body twisting unnaturally before collapsing onto the Persian rug. Elias's heart lurched. "What's happening to her?" Leora's eyes darted to the half-eaten plate of smoked salmon Elias had left on the coffee table earlier. "Tell me you didn't." "I just gave her a bite. She loves fish." Smoked fish is packed with salts and preservatives. It can cause sodium ion poisoning in cats, Leora snapped, already rummaging through her bag for an emergency remedy. "Do you have any idea how many cats end up in emergency clinics because their owners think human food is fine in small amounts? Over 15, 0 cases a year in the US. Alone, and that's just the reported ones." Elias felt sick. He'd done this. As Leora worked, forcing Nix to drink an electrolyte solution, the cat's body spasmed again, but this time, her claws extended, digging into the rug with unnatural force. The stranger's voice slithered under the door again. "She's waking up, and she's hungry for more than just your food, Elias." Moral of the chapter: even love can be poisonous when given blindly. What nourishes us may destroy them and awaken things best left sleeping. Chapter 4. The Claws That Remember. Nix's recovery was slow, but something had changed. She no longer purred. She watched, and her claws, once retractable, now remained unsheathed, black as obsidian and sharp as broken glass. Leora studied them with a mix of fascination and dread. "These aren't just claws anymore," she murmured. "They're keys." Elias, desperate for answers, dug into Nix's past. His search led him to a faded newspaper clipping. "Local man's cat seized by animal control after neighbor reports disturbing behavior." The photo showed a younger version of the stranger from the door. Dr. Alistair Vrain, a disgraced veterinarian who'd experimented on cats, declawing them in a twisted attempt to purify their instincts. But the article's most chilling line came from a behavioral study. Declawed cats are 300% more likely to develop chronic pain, arthritis, and psychological aggression. Many mutilate themselves trying to regrow what was taken. Nix, Elias realized, hadn't just been Vrain's victim, she'd been his success, because she had regrown her claws, and whatever he'd done to her had made them into something else. That night, Elias woke to the sound of scratching, not at the door inside the walls. Nix was gone again, but this time, the house itself seemed to breathe around him. Then, from the hallway, a sound. Snip, snip, snip. Vrain stood there, smiling, a pair of silver shears in his hands. "Time to finish what I started," he whispered. Nix's eyes glowed in the dark with pain. Moral of the chapter: some wounds never heal. What we take from them, they will reclaim in ways we cannot predict. Chapter 5. The Hollow Plaything. The metallic snip-snip of Vrain's shears sent Elias scrambling backward, his pulse hammering in his throat. But before the deranged vet could take another step, Nix launched herself from the shadows, her obsidian claws catching the moonlight like shards of a shattered mirror. Vrain laughed, sidestepping with unnatural grace. "Still fighting, little one? Even after I fixed you?" Elias grabbed the nearest object, a heavy candlestick, and swung. Elias grabbed the nearest object, a heavy candlestick, and swung. The blow should have hit the target, but Vrain dodged. "You don't understand, Elias," he said. "She was boring until I took her claws away. Just another lazy house cat who sleeps all day staring at the wall. It's a pity." Leora burst into the room, her arms laden with strange artifacts. "He's right about one thing," she panted. "A cat's mind withers without stimulation. Studies show felines deprived of play develop anxiety so severe they overgroom until they bleed or starve themselves out of despair." She hurled a vial of pepper powder at Vrain. Vrain said, "But you didn't help her, you broke her." The powder ignited in the air, revealing the truth. Some of Vrain's clothes were made from the rarest fabric of cats, which cost a lot of money. Leora understood this by the chemical reaction in the form of arson. Moral of the chapter: a neglected mind becomes a weapon. Boredom is the slowest form of cruelty and the most dangerous. Chapter 6. The Door That Should Never Open. Vrain and Nix were gone. Elias lunged after her, but Leora yanked him back. "If she's gone where I think she has." Elias shook her off. "She's never been outside. I've always kept her indoors. No cars, no diseases, no—" "Exactly," Leora interrupted. "And now she's out there somewhere with no survival instincts, no fear, and claws that can unlock doors that shouldn't be opened." She thrust a research paper into his hands. A highlighted statistic glared up at him. Unsupervised outdoor cats live 2 to 5 years on average. Indoor cats who escape face 80% higher mortality within the first month due to predation, toxins, or sheer disorientation. Elias's blood ran cold. Nix wasn't just any cat. If she'd gotten out. They followed the trail of charred paw prints to the backyard, where the old oak tree stood, the one Elias had never let Nix climb. And there, perched on the lowest limb, sat Nix, licking her claws clean of something black and glistening. Nix stared at her owner with eyes that held no recognition. Only hunger. Moral of the chapter: the greatest danger isn't what's outside, it's what we've never prepared them to face. Protection without wisdom is just another cage. Chapter 7. The Forgotten Needle. Nix remained perched on the gnarled oak branch. Leora gripped Elias's arm, her fingers trembling. "She's been changed," she whispered. "But not just by Vrain's experiments, by something other." Elias's mind raced. He had failed Nix in so many ways, ignored her checkups, dismissed her subtle distress signals. A report from the Journal of Feline Medicine flashed in his memory. Over 70% of cats who die from preventable diseases like feline leukemia or rabies had never received vaccinations or routine vet care. And now, Nix was patient zero for something far worse. Leora pulled a syringe from her coat, filled with an iridescent liquid. "This is a stabilizer, a last resort. It might buy us time to undo what's been done." Elias hesitated. "But if she's already—" "Listen," Leora snapped. "Cats are masters of hiding illness until it's too late. You ignored the signs, and now we're dealing with more than just a sick cat. We're dealing with a conduit." Before they could move, Leora lunged, plunging the needle into Nix's flank. The Nix's world turned over. Moral of the chapter: prevention is the only cure when the sickness is already at your door. A missed vaccine can cost 9 lives and more. Chapter 8. The Silent Scream. The injection didn't calm Nyx. Her body convulsed, limbs elongating and retracting like a broken film reel. Leora staggered back, her face ashen. It wasn't supposed to do this. Then, as suddenly as it began, the chaos stilled. Nyx collapsed, just a cat, panting, her pupils dilated with primal terror. Elias reached for her, but Leora yanked him back. Don't. She's not stable. Recent research from the Institute of Feline Behavior Studies echoed in Elias's mind. Chronically stressed cats experience cortisol levels high enough to trigger organ failure. Many develop compulsive disorders, chewing their own flesh, hallucinating prey that isn't there. Nyx wasn't just infected, she was going crazy. A low growl rumbled from her throat as she stared past them, fixated on something in the middle distance. Moral of the chapter. Stress is a silent killer, but the monster it invites is louder. A cat's fear is never just in their head. Chapter 9. The Poisoned Threshold. The doorway yawned open, exhaling a breath of stale air that carried whispers of forgotten things. Nyx crouched low, her tail lashing, no longer fearful, but calculating. But as they backed away, Elias's foot knocked over a bottle of floor cleaner he'd left out earlier. The cap had been loose, and a noxious blue liquid oozed across the floorboards, its chemical stench cutting through the unnatural miasma. Nyx hissed, scrambling backward as the liquid neared her paws. Leora's breath hitched. Phenol-based cleaners, idiot! Do you have any idea how toxic that is to cats? She yanked a research abstract from her coat. Even diluted household disinfectants can cause fatal kidney damage in felines through skin contact alone. Over 0 cases are reported annually. Elias's stomach twisted. He'd never thought twice about the sprays and wipes he used. Moral of the chapter. What harms can also protect, but ignorance is never a shield. The dangers we overlook are often the ones that come back to haunt us. Chapter 10. The Knot Untied. Vrain was caught by the police, and he, a previously cheerful guy, was broken after hearing a life sentence. Nyx sat at home, her fur singed, but her eyes clear, truly clear for the first time since this nightmare began. Elias sank to his knees, trembling. It's over. Leora exhaled sharply. No, it's fixed. She nodded at Nyx. She's stable now, but there's one last thing we have to do. Elias tensed. What? She needs to be spayed. He balked. Now? After everything? Leora's gaze was iron. Especially now. Whatever Vrain did to her, whatever lingered in her blood, it's tied to her reproductive system. I've seen it before. She pulled up a study on her phone. Unspayed female cats are 80% more likely to develop pyometra, a lethal uterine infection. Just one unaltered cat can produce 370 descendants in 7 years, most of them doomed to short, suffering lives. Elias looked at Nyx. She stared back, calm. Epilogue. The 9th life. 1 month later, Nyx, now sleek, healthy, and free of the thing that had clung to her, curled in a sunbeam, purring. Elias had learned his lessons. The vet visits, the safe cleaners, the toys that kept her mind sharp. But most of all, he'd learned that love meant protecting her, even from the dangers he couldn't see. As Nyx stretched, her claws caught the light, ordinary again, but no less sharp. And somewhere, very far away, a Vrain's door stayed shut. Moral of the chapter. To love a cat is to break the cycle of suffering before it begins. The greatest kindness is the one that goes unseen. Final moral. Care is not just action, it is foresight. The world is full of invisible threats, but the true danger is in doing nothing. What do you think about this story? Write in the comments. Subscribe and wait for the next video in which I will tell you about the behavior of animals that you don't know for sure about. If you don't subscribe, you will make a huge mistake.